Hello, I am Jody Wolf. You are watching EXPOZ. Today, January 17, 2011, 3:18 a.m. in Birmingham, Alabama. And today's topic, birds falling from the sky and fish dying. And I know every one of you have heard this. Everyone has different opinions. I tell you what I think it is, and I'll skip the whole little tail formality part of it, but in pieces. Last year at this time, or I say this time in March, I was in Daytona Beach Bike Week in Daytona, Florida, and every year I hit Highway 1A, and I travel from Daytona to St. Augustine. It's just a ride I do. The first day I started out for the ride, I couldn't do it. I got 2 miles down the beach, and at Flagler Beach is where I entered it, which was about 7 or 8, 9 miles from Daytona. When I entered Flagler Beach, when I went over the bridge, coming into Flagler, I noticed right off the smell, and by the time I got to the beach, I was coughing. And 2 miles further down, I made a U-turn and I came back out. Didn't know how far it was in either direction, so I went back out away from the beach, going to the west just to get out of it. And a couple of miles down, I did. And that is called red tide. Red tide, usually the water turns red, but not always. And it's not a bright red, but you can look it up. You can see what I'm talking about. But the smell is like acidy. It'll burn your nose and burn your eyes. And in my case, I simply couldn't handle it, so I got out of it. Well, my point is, I walked out of my deck, and this has been a few months ago. I did record it, and I'm going to put it on YouTube along with a chemtrail I recorded just a few weeks prior to that, very close to where I live. When I say very close, and again, I'm a pilot, among other things, but this thing probably was not over 2,000 feet, and I never heard the airplane go over, and I was outside. Anyway, red tide kills fish. And when red tide is heavy, there aren't many birds around. And usually, birds will clean the fish up off the beach. Birds are hanging out further down the beach because it bothers them just the way it bothers us. And when asked, or rather when the media asked the experts on these things, they went to this guy's Asian guy that's a scientist that you normally see him speaking of and talking about the heavens and these things. But today he just like, oh yeah, this has been happening off and on forever. And I don't doubt that. But just a few years ago, over 250,000 Canadian geese died in Canada. That was a first. And so my thought, chemtrail. I think a chemtrail killed the birds, and I think the chemtrail, where it settled in the water, killed the fish. I do. Ironically, the birds and the fish in Arkansas were relatively close to one another. And but when this guy said it's been going on for years and years, well, yes, so has chemtrails. It's been going on years and years. And specifically what it does, I have no idea. I hear that it changes weather, that it can somewhat. And anyway, I just wanted to tell you that that's my take. I think a chemtrail, a chemical trail, did this, and it happened all around the world. mostly here in America. And wow, I had another point to make, and I'm trying to think of it. But I believe that's it. I believe it's a chemtrail, because that night when I walked out my deck, I saw this heavy mist, and I came in, my feet were sticking to the deck like tacky. I came in, got my video camera, went back out, and I filmed it on a bright, clear, crystal day. No temperature inversion. It was like a heavy mist that you could feel enough that your feet were stick to the deck. So I just wanted to run that by you, and I believe, until somebody else comes up with something different, I believe that's it. Jody Wolf, EXPOZ.